For today's cup of coffee, we're going to be discussing something that is a potential haunting in the making. And this has to do with a gentleman that had relocated to this area from Florida. And this happens quite often when people outside of Appalachian culture move to this area. They have a tendency to speak down to the people of this area, the ones of us that are indigenous, and think that we're stupid and less than. And no, we're not. Do not do not mistake our kindness for weakness. But this gentleman had lived in some of the large areas in Florida, and I think at one point he had been employed by Walt Disney out of respect for the family and potential legal things that might come from this. I will not include his name. If you want to know, send me an email. I'll send you a link to the newspaper or the news sites that did discuss the issue more fuller. What we had actually worked for this gentleman for a day, because in between jobs and needing money and stuff, and a family friend had said, hey, he's looking for help, why don't you go and assist him? And so it was one of those that I was relegated to cleaning on the inside, which it was a disaster. Husband was outside on a tractor, explaining to this person he's under a new medication, he's not supposed to get overheated. There was another guy that was staying with us at the time, and so he was supposed to be watching after Michael. But anyhow, at the end of we had taken a lunch break, and this gentleman, when he came back, he was so vile as far as nothing was right, nothing had been done correctly, this and that and the other, just really putting us down, verbal abuse, and we were all like, forget this. So we piled in the truck and all of us came home. So he calls later and he says, oh, because that you didn't finish the job, you're not going to get paid fully. So he was a shyster. And it was just like, we understood he was a despicable person. We had heard of other people in the area trying to work for him. And we figured they had had the same experience that we did with him. So it was sometime in, let's see here, let me pull up the news story as far as when the event actually did take place. And so in 2017, this gentleman had hired two other guys. We did not know these men. And so something ensued and they murdered him. And this was a very gruesome murder. They had actually bludgeoned him to death with a hammer and then had dumped the body in the septic tank. And I thought, well, you know what? Now this is going, I don't care how it sounds. That was poetic justice, because he was indeed a piece of shit. Now they said that these people, that it was a couple of days before they found out that this man had been murdered. And that when they went and interviewed, the police investigated and interviewed these gentlemen, that the one guy who did wear glasses still had blood splatter on his glasses. I don't even want to think about that. But the man who was murdered was restoring a historic home here in the area in the hopes of having that at some point be a bed and breakfast. And as far as I know, family of his inherited the land and the home and stuff. There is no way that you could pay me to stay in that place, because he was an angry person to begin with. So that's one of the things that can indicate a haunting. Plus a pretty heinous murder. So yeah, that'll be one of those up and coming legends. And the best thing that they could do is have somebody go and bless that land before they ever dare try to sell it. As far as it being a bed and breakfast, unless you want it on one of these haint tours, now you might be able to sell tickets on that. So anyhow, murder most foul, and we've had quite a few of them around here like that. So that's your cup of spoopy for today. Send your interesting stories, paranormal events, supernatural events, If you just need someone to listen to you about your encounters, that's fine too. Send those to cupofcoffeewithscream at gmail.com, and you all have a beautiful, blessed day.